you failed at everything you've done with business, right? You can never make anything work, and that's why you're watching this video, right? And I'm going to help you out because you have been lied to. Right, if you've ever sat there and you've had a good day in your business and you've said, if only these sales would remain consistent, or if only I was profitable every single day, then this would be perfect, right? If you could make $100 profit in one day and that could continue for the next 6 months, that would be amazing, right? You could quit your job and you could take this full time. But the reality is, every single person, more or less, who starts an e-commerce store, who's followed these tutorials, has not been able to see the success that they think they could get for a very simple reason. I'm going to get to that in today's video. So no matter what you try, your revenue drops, right? If you've been in a position where you've launched an e-commerce store before, you've been very excited, right? You've gone ahead, you found your winning products, you've thrown together a landing page, you've built your Shopify store, you've created some ads, and then suddenly you've made some sales, and then 3 days later, nothing's happening and you're losing money. If that's ever been the position you've been in, right, I'm going to help you out here, right? If you've ever been like this guy, 25 conversions in 2 days, and then 0 for the next 7 days, or maybe you're doing TikTok organic and you're getting views, you're making sales, and then suddenly, bam, your TikTok account gets banned and you're not making any views, right? If that's ever happened to you and you've just looked in the sky and screamed, why the hell does this happen to me, but everybody else seems to get results, maybe the universe hates me, the universe doesn't hate you. You're just doing things wrong because you've been told the wrong things, okay? If your sales have ever stopped, you've lost your payment provider, you've had disputes, everything's been shut down, but nobody else seems to have this problem, then the answer is actually everybody has this problem, okay? And I'm going to show you exactly why this is happening, right? So suddenly you're thinking, right, the gurus are liars, everybody else out here is lying. Maybe you're thinking nothing works. You've tried thousands of creatives, you've tested hundreds of different products, and this is probably true, right? To be totally honest, most people who get started do follow what everybody tells them, and they follow it step by step, and they expect to get the results that they saw in those videos, but they don't. So obviously you're now thinking nothing works, right? Maybe these screenshots are faked, but from, you know, these guys who are getting results, okay? And currently, right, this is you. By the end of this won't be. You'll be happy, but it won't say failure. It'll say success. That's my goal anyway, because I'm sick and tired of people lying to you. So if you've ever been in the position, right, where you've woken up one day and everything's been shut down, you've been running TikTok ads, you've been making some really good money, and then that's been shut down and your business has just stopped, or you're making sales, right? You could still be running traffic, but suddenly nobody's buying from your store and you're just totally at a loss to understand why. Basically, there's a very, very simple reason for this happening, right? And it's because you're taking the wrong route. And there's a big pot of gold here that you're skipping. So all you need to do is go back and find that pot of gold and just sprinkle it over your business. And it's very, very, very easy to do. But what's happening, right, is these guys who've been teaching you have told you that you need to go out, find a winning product, build a landing page, and maybe you're probably subscribed to some of these apps which will search for winning products, and you've used one of those and somebody's told you to try this winning product, or you've done some research strategy or whatever nonsense you've done, right? You've thrown together a landing page. It's just a quick one. Leave me in the comments, how long do you usually spend on your landing page, on actually like building the Shopify store? I'm genuinely curious. And then what you do is you just whip up some ads really quickly, right? I'm guessing 60-70% of you don't even order the product yourself. You just repurpose other people's content to just throw some ads onto TikTok, right? Whether you're paying for ads or doing organic, it's basically the same thing, right? If that's been you, and then you've suddenly seen that you're not getting results and you're getting traffic to your website but nobody's buying, or maybe you've been running some traffic for a bit, a couple of people have been buying but nothing's actually working, for some reason, everybody seems to blame Zuckerberg. I think he's a tosser, but every single person seems to blame Facebook ads or the TikTok ads or their organic strategy. They seem to blame everything on the front end of their business without even thinking about what they've spent their time doing, right? So what do? You go ahead and you look for the winning Facebook ad strategy. Just like this video if you've done this before, because more often than not, the people who are failing with e-commerce are just focusing on the wrong problem, okay? The problem is not that you need to find some secret advertising strategy. At the end of the day, if you've got a good business and you've built the business correctly and you've got a good product and service, people will buy from you. That's just how it works, right? As long as you kind of understand basic marketing and you've got a good product and service. It's not that you need to set up some CBO campaign with some manual bidding, or you need to test out a million different creatives every 5 seconds and you need to have this warming ad set and all of that, right? That stuff helps, but it's not going to make or break your business, okay? That you could have the world's worst advertising strategy, but if you've got the best product in the world, you could still make sales, okay? And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. So maybe you think, okay, well, if it's not the problem with the ads, maybe it's the problem with my product. But here's a question for you, right? How many products have you tested and how many of them have failed and succeeded? Okay, now think about this. There's a company out there called Liquid Death. Liquid Death sells water It falls from the sky and it comes out the tap. But they make hundreds of millions of dollars selling water to people. And the reason that happens is because they've built a great product, and they've also got, more importantly, a great business. They've structured everything correctly to the point where they can sell you water and they can make millions of dollars from it. Okay, so it's nothing you can sell anything. It's not your product and it's not your advertising strategy. So what is this pot of gold that real business owners are doing? Because they're doing the same thing, right? They're still running ads, they're still testing creatives, they're still testing products, but it's working for them and it's not working for you. And obviously, right, this is just a meme, right? We can move past this, right? But the reason this is happening is because big influencers have been teaching you the wrong thing, or at least half the picture, okay? And I haven't got a problem with people creating this content, but how many times have you watched a video where somebody has done a challenge? I'm going to make a store that makes 30 grand in a month, or I'm going to do a 48-hour dropshipping challenge. And then by the end of the 48 hours, they're making $200-300 a day in profit. And you're there like, this is sick, I'm going to do the same thing. If that happens to me and I'm making $300 a day in profit, I'm going to be making, almost 10 grand a month here. I can't wait. So you rush off and you go and build the same thing. And then within 48 hours, you have built the same thing and it doesn't happen to you. Well, here's the question, right? How many of those people have then followed up with that challenge, right? Because most of them will have seen results like this. $30,000 in 1 month, right? That on the front of it seems fucking amazing, right? If you can make $30,000 in 30 days, then it'll be great. But here's some news for you, right? Not all of that is profit. There's a reason that came crashing down at the end, and that's because they hadn't built the business properly, right? They scaled too quickly. And secondly, if I got a job, I would be able to make that much money. If you only did that once in a year, I would make more money than you, because that's just going to cause you a massive amount of loss and headache, right? So what you need to be able to do is make, it's much harder to make $100,000 in a year than it is to make $30,000 in 1 month. But here's the kicker. If you make $100,000 in a year, you make more profit, you have a more valuable business that you could even sell and make more money from than if you were to do something like this. Okay? And the reason they do this is because they do not know why it's happening either. Okay? So when you say, like, why does it happen to them and why does it work for them and it doesn't work for me, and you're watching videos like this and this guy's making $4 grand a day, the reason it's happening to them and they're making results but you're not is basically because they're only showing you a short time frame. Okay? And then you've got people simping over him, right? And this guy, for example, seems to think that if you drink from a copper water bottle, you're gonna get rich, right? And that's the thing that's really gonna help. Or this guy's just basically cheering him on without actually going ahead and just doing and building a business himself, right? So he knows, right? This guy is a smart marketer. He knows if he creates this content, he's gonna get people excited about getting good at dropshipping. And what do people who want to get good at dropshipping need to know? How to build a dropshipping store, how to learn e-commerce. So he has a product, e-commerce university. And by the way, I think this is great. I think people should do this. And I think if you've got an audience and you can help people learn how to do dropshipping and run ads, do it. But the problem is it's not the full picture. So you sign up to this, you pay $35 a month, which is dirt cheap, to be honest, for the information you're going to learn. But it still doesn't work. And it's because he has not yet figured out the strategy to make a long-term business, right? He's 19 years old, right? How many businesses has he run and how long have those businesses last for? This guy is just not there to teach you long-term business. He's there to make money from you and a quick cash grab, okay? So you need to learn how to build a long-term business. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with telling stuff to your audience, but they're only giving you half the picture, right? If somebody tells you that the reason that you're not making money from your store is because you need to test 100 million products, or you need to try this new fad advertising strategy, like a fad diet, then it's just not going to work, okay? And the reason it's not going to work is because people who come onto your store, they can see the bullshit, right? They can see that you are just trying to convince them to purchase. You are wrapping a turd, basically. You are gift wrapping it and trying to use funky marketing tactics to sell essentially what is shit to a customer, okay? And a customer who comes through onto your landing page, onto your business, and they buy a product, they don't just expect that product anymore, right? You are competing with companies like Amazon and Apple, and you are competing with huge companies, and these companies come with a service. When you purchase the product, you get a level of service from that company. And if somebody comes to your store and they can't see that they're going to get that service from you, they're just not going to buy. They're going to go elsewhere, right? So that's the real issue that you're having, right? It's got nothing to do with this stuff. This stuff is important, but the likelihood is you already know this stuff. You've been taught this stuff. That stuff is already out there. The stuff that I'm going to show you is not, okay? And you've been given the wrong tool for the job, right? This is half the course, and you're trying to inflate a massive tire, and that's why this is happening, right? That's why you have people like this, who's happy one day, right? They're making a whole load of money, $1,000 in a day, and then the day after they've made $39, okay? And they're wondering what the hell's going on. And, here's a fun fact for you. You spent, probably close to $500 on this day on advertising, and you've made maybe $200 in profit. This day, you've spent about $400 on ads by this point, and you've made nothing, right? So you've now lost the profit from the previous day. So if you've ever been in that position, right, just let me know in the comments down below, because it's just happening to too many people. And if you're wondering why this is like this guy, for example, right? Shopify put our funds on hold. Oh my God, Shopify is the worst business in the world. How dare they do this? No, it's because you've built the wrong business. You haven't built it properly. Shopify has got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably actually I think it's like millions of people using their store on their platform, right? And processing payments. They know if you're being shady. They know if you're just trying to do a quick cash grab and you're not building the business properly. So what do? They put your funds on hold. They stop you from accepting payments. People refund and dispute. You lose money, and then you don't build a long-term business. But it's everybody else's fault apart from yours. Okay, there's nothing out there, right? There's definitely somebody out there to get you, right? Zuckerberg wants you to fail, okay? But here's something for you that you may not know, okay? Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, any platform, whether it's organic or whether it's paid, is collecting data on you as a business, right? Facebook's the best example of this. They have a feedback score calculator, okay? So if you're running a business and you are not focusing on that business and you're just focusing on pumping traffic and trying to get customers to buy and wrapping turd in gift wrap, they know, because those customers that come through, every single one of them receives a notification from your ad saying, let us know how the service was, okay? Review this company. And if you drop below a 2, they will basically put you through a penalty threshold. I can't remember which number it is. I think the penalty threshold, they probably ban your ads, or if you drop below 1, they ban your ads. But when you drop below a 2 or even a 3, the lower that you go on this feedback score, the more your ad costs are, okay? So you're competing against somebody like Gymshark, for example, who's getting like a feedback score of 4.5. They are getting rewarded for that. They're getting cheaper ads, and they're getting a better pool of customers from their advertising. Okay. Also, not to mention, if they were to get a lower feedback score, because they've built their business properly and they know that when a customer comes through, they're going to be nurtured, they're going to come back and purchase, they can afford to spend more than you. Okay. Meanwhile, this is you. They get asked things like product quality, shipping speed. I think they also get asked on customer service, right? And you end up getting a current score of 1.6, okay? Which means you're now under penalty, which means you are receiving more expensive ad costs. Like, you will notice, right, your ads one day when you're not making sales, the next day, maybe your cost per click's doubled, okay? Or your click-through rate's halved, or your CPM has doubled or trebled, and you don't really understand why. This is why, okay? Now, the same thing goes with organic. People can, what's the word? They can go onto your ads and they can basically report your content for whatever reason, right? Customers just do weird shit sometimes. But whether you're doing a good service or not, people will sometimes go onto your ads and they will report them. And if they report your ads, you get lower reach. So what do you need to do? You need to make sure that when people come through, they have a good experience. So before Facebook gets to them, before these other companies get to them, your customers are going to give you an absolutely glowing review, right? You want to be at the point where somebody receives their products from your company and they are running around the house screaming with happiness. You treat them like a god. So now they go and tell all their friends, they post about it on social media, they give you a great review, and that feeds the business. And these companies, these big companies know this. You don't. And, well, maybe you know, but you don't know how to do it, okay? And it's actually incredibly simple. Okay, you can automate most of it, right? So basically, you're focusing on the wrong thing, right? Meanwhile, you're going Instagram Live, World War III is happening behind you. You're running ads to a business, right? You've got a landing page, you're selling a product. And every single time you sell that product, that customer comes through, you accept that purchase. And then you go, right now, I need to get 25 more of these people. No, you don't. You need to make sure that customer comes back again. Because if that customer comes back again, they could spend 2, 3, 4 times the amount in your store. And after a customer's come back twice, they will keep on coming back. It's like 97% return customer rate if they've come back a second time. So if you can work on getting a customer to come back a second time, you could turn off your ads and you could run your business just from the first group of customers that come through, okay? You don't need to be focusing on just chasing the next sale through your Facebook ads, okay? There is an element of that being true, right? You do need to bring in new customers, fine, but you need to make sure the customers that come out the back end of your business are treated correctly, because if they're not, and you just take 3 or 4 days before you ship their order, or you forget to send them a confirmation link, or you don't bother with tracking numbers, or they have no way of understanding how to get a refund or how to track their order or just get the information about the product, if they have no way of reaching you, then they're going to hate you and then you're going to fail in your business, right? So what do you actually need to do, right? Because we went through this before, right? And this is causing your business to fail, okay? You're getting problems like this. 5 weeks to get a delivery. How many times have you logged in to your tracking, and you don't really do this regularly because you're scared to see it, right? And when you log in, it's usually bad news. Somebody hasn't shipped your order, right? Your supplier has been paid, but they haven't shipped your order. So now you need to chase them to ship the order, right? And inevitably, you haven't been checking that every single day, okay? So now it takes weeks for somebody to arrive. You were told it was going to take 7 to 10 days to be shipped, but it wasn't. It was going to take 6 months. It went via the moon, via a peddler, right? And your customers are now angry, so they dispute the products, okay? They dispute the orders, and then this happens to you, right? Shopify shuts you down. You can't accept payments, and you were thinking everything's going great. So what happens at this point, right, is as your sales are going great and as you're making money and you're really excited because you're just focusing on the front end, you're just tunnel vision, right? You're looking at the amount of money that you're making, but you're not looking at the people who actually gave you that money. That money is not yours until that customer has received their product and received a good service. You can expect that money to be given back to the customers until they get the product and the service that they want, and that is why Shopify is shutting you down, okay? That is why your ad costs are so high. So then you think dropshipping's dead, and then you blame Zuckerberg and everybody else on the problem, but apart from the fact that you've built the business wrong. And he's like, fuck, it's not my fault. I saw you were building a scammy business and nothing was working, so I just shut you down, okay? Because we can't afford to have our users on our platform come to a store that you've built where you haven't built a proper business, buying products, and then you just to take their money and then run away and hide. And I think like there is a lot of stuff with the way they run their advertising platform that is stupid, and a lot of it isn't your fault, but you do need to make sure that you're building the right thing, okay? So what's the correct way of doing this? Well, first of all, real business owners do their research first, okay? And this sounds boring, right? But it's got to be done. And this is a longer route, but if you want to build a long-term business, you have to do this stuff first. And I'm going to show you a way of automating all of this anyway. But they do their market research, right? They find out what their competitors are doing, what their competitors are doing wrong. They find out what their customers want. They find out the problems that the customers had with their competitors. All of this stuff, right? And they use that to their advantage. And they then, this arrow is basically supposed to be, they then compete, right? They then do a better job than their competition. They increase the amount of service that customer gets. They increase the value that they get from the product, okay? Then what do? They either create a better product or a service, okay? So if you look at your competitors and you see that your competitor is failing with shipping times, what do? You find a way of getting the products to customers quicker. Now all of their customers are your customers, right? So they spend time working out exactly how to get ahead of everybody else. What is frustrating people and how can they improve upon that service, right? They build the foundations for a proper business. They work on getting everything set up. They know, right? If I bring a customer in and that customer buys this product, right? The customer buys AirPods, okay, or an AirPods case. If they like this product and it turned up in 3 days, or it could be 7 or 10 days, right? The shipping doesn't matter too much as long as they know and they're kept up to date. They know that customer, if they're happy with it and they ordered the product and it turned up in nice packaging and all of that, they know, okay, if I like it and it works, I'll buy again, okay? Because more often than not, people will buy multiple of the same thing, or if you release new products, you can then sell them on more things. And the only reason that happens is because you build the correct foundations. There's information on your store. They can get access to information and support and help when they need. They can buy other products. They can cross-sell. They can see that there's reviews and testimonials, okay? They then start the marketing. So while you've gone in, you've looked for the cheapest, basic, shittest products off TikTok or AliExpress, and you've built a Shopify store in 20 minutes, and you've started ads within like a day, they have spent, a week. That's all it takes, maybe, probably even 3 or 4 days to actually do some research and build the business properly, create proper landing pages, to build a branded website, to put some effort and time into their business so they can then start marketing. But here's the really cool thing. Because once you've done this stuff, you don't need to do it again, right? You can have it set up on your website. If you want a support system, right, you have it set up on your website, and then you can start to run ads. And then once people purchase, that support system is automated in the background. So you are now, at this point, you're in the same position that you were here, but you don't have this problem of everything coming crashing down, because you know if anybody has a problem, you can deal with it and you can make sure that customer's happy, okay? So they're not going to come back and they're not going to report your ads, and you're not going to get terminated, or your ads aren't going to be shut down, or Shopify is not going to shut down their payments. And they know all of this is going to happen because they have spent the time building the business properly. So they get exponential growth, right? So it takes them longer to start to see results, but in 2 or 3 months, suddenly they've got exponential growth because their customers are happy. Their customers are sharing their product. They're talking to their friends. They're sending in reviews and testimonials. They're sharing it on social media. Meanwhile, every single person who's bought from your store hates your guts, is finding your address, and is going to come around and threaten your nan, right? So then they're able to make $50,000 a month while you've made $1,000 and you've been shut down. Okay, so it's very, very simple. You just need to take your mindset away from this, how do I make money as quickly as possible, and turn it into how can I make money for as long as possible. Okay, because if I can make $100 a day for 12 months, I'm going to make more than I would if I made $200 a day for 30 days, okay? That is what you need to do. And not to mention, right, as you start to build a business and as this starts to happen, you learn more, your business gets better, that foundation gets stronger and stronger and stronger. You can put money back into the business. You have money to invest now, right, because you're scaling your business because it can support the growth. And then you can basically just make more money per day by pumping more money into ads, right? And this is why you keep failing. Right? This is what happens. So while you're out there blaming Zuckerberg and you're blaming product research and you want to find a new advertising strategy, or maybe there's a new Shopify theme that's going to save your life, the reality is you hadn't put in the work at the start. Not enough people talk about this, right? Because it's boring, right? It's boring to talk about service delivery. And this is what happens when you build a proper brand. 64% returning customer rate. Pause this video, go and look at your Shopify store. What is your returning customer rate? It's probably maybe 10%. And the reason for that is because people hate you. They don't like your product. They don't like your service. It turned up late. They couldn't get the service and information that they needed. They couldn't find when it was going to arrive. They couldn't find product information, or they couldn't find out how to get a refund or a return if they needed to, right? Whereas these people, they know that if somebody comes through and they purchase, and then they offer them a free discount or whatever because their name's Amber or whatever, then they're going to make more money, okay? Which means they basically keep consistent revenue all throughout the year. So while you are building a store that makes money over the first 2 or 3 weeks and then crashes and burns, this company, you can see, this is like the previous year, the dotted line, and then this is this year, right? For 2 years, they've been making, or a year and a half, right? They've been making the exact same amount of revenue every single month without really having to do much extra work. And that's basically all we want, right? If we can make $3,000 a month profit for the next 24 months, great. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And the really important thing here is you're making consistent amount of revenue. You're making more revenue every single month, or you're making the same amount of revenue. So you know month on month how much money you're going to make. You know how much money your business is going to make, so you can take a salary, which means you can now afford to quit your job. And now you have financial freedom. But you can't get that if you don't build a business properly. So you have to take your mind out of this short-term thing, being like, I hate my job, I hate my life, I want to make money and work for myself. That's fine, but you need to understand that you cannot get that overnight. And all of these other systems that are going to make you jump too quick and jump through hoops and these little shortcuts are shortcuts for a reason. They cut short the lifespan of the business. That's what happens because you're not doing things correctly. You're not building the correct foundations, right? And then all you need to do is have a look at proper brands like Gymshark, okay? They've got a whole system set up, right, that's going to help their customers and keep their customers coming back. If a customer's got a problem, or they've got a question about a product, or they need to talk to a human, they have an entire support hub on their website to give them this information, right? They have got 4 stars, 3.8 stars, over 32,000 reviews, right? You've probably got 100 reviews, and all of them are 1 stars, because people do not like coming to a website and buying from a website that they are not going to get the service from. There are so many people out there doing e-commerce now that a customer has bought so many products from different e-commerce stores, they can see when they land on a store subconsciously whether that customer, whether they're going to get a good experience or not, right? And there's just little things that you need to do to tweak to be able to give that customer some trust that they are going to be able to get the information that they need, and they'll be able to, get the product that they need and they want in time from your store, right? And you have to realize this feeds growth and profitability. If you're only making 5 sales a day, but each one of those customers goes and tells their friends, or each one of those customers shares it on their social media, that is free marketing for you. That is testimonials. That is UGC content that you can use in your ads, okay? If you've got happy customers and you ask them to leave you a review, they will. If you've got happy customers and you ask them, can you film me a video of your product? They will, okay, because they want to help you as a business, because they like your brand. They want to see your brand succeed. And this does not happen when you spend 24 hours building a Shopify store and doing your product research and then throwing some ads at it. You are in this mindset where you want to make money quickly. And the reason you're in that mindset, you weren't in this before, right? When you had a job, you weren't in this mindset. You just wanted to make some money so you could afford to go out with friends, right? But now you're in this mindset because some guy on YouTube has shown you him making $30,000 in 1 month. So you think you can do the same. But the reality is either you can't, right, because you don't have the skills, or you're not going to make enough money to be able to keep that consistent, okay? So then you just end up in a flat spin, and then you're constantly just looking around for the next best solution, right? And the problem is nobody wants to talk about this stuff because it's boring. It's service delivery. It's building the business and the foundations. But the shocking truth of it is building a business is boring. But if you do it correctly, that's how you make money. It takes time to do it properly. And there are ways that you can speed it up, okay? There are systems that you can do. You don't need to go out and hire loads of people, right? You don't need to go out and spend hours building out a support page, right? It's very, very quick to do. So it's got quite long in this video, but if you're wondering how you can actually do this yourself, right? If you're wondering how you can build the proper foundations for a business and you can actually build long-term success in your business, you have a business, an e-commerce store, or you've built an e-commerce store before and you failed, but you want to build another one, and you want to see long-term results. Maybe you want to stop things from crashing, maybe your business is starting to fail and you want to turn it around. If you're one of those people and you're serious, there is a free course, link down below, the top link in the description. I'm going to teach you not only how to choose your product and build your store, right? You need the foundations and how to run your ads and all of that. But I'm also going to teach you how to systemize your entire business and how to guarantee a feedback score of 5 and guarantee people are going to keep coming back. Now, this is like a 4-hour long course, right? I don't have time to teach you in 4 hours on here, so I'm going to give it to you in a free course. So how do you get access to this, right? If you click the top link down below in the description and register for my free class, I will send you an invite. I'm doing a free class every Thursday where I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know about building a proper business, okay? For 2 hours every week, I'm sharing all the information that you need, all the information that you haven't been taught, and that has basically been hidden from you either because people don't know it or they don't want you to know it. So below this video is a link. Go ahead, click on that link. It will take you to a website that looks like this. Go ahead and then click on the register for free class. It's no longer on Mondays, by the way, it's on Thursdays. Register for the free class, put in your name, your email, your phone number. I will then send you an email with a link to the video, but I want your commitment here. I only want to help people who are going to put in the work and time and the effort, right? To build a business correctly, you have to put in a lot of effort, or at least a little bit of effort, over a long period of time. So I'm not going to give you all of the course in one day. I'm going to give you each lesson as the week goes on, okay? So if you sign up today, over the next few days, as I'm filming this video, you will receive each lesson of that course, okay? Because I want to make sure that you can show up every single day, you can open that email, and you can at least learn something new each day. That's the first step. That way you can prove to me that you can actually focus on the correct things in your business, okay? And as a sort of like a bonus, you're going to get access to the free training. If you can make it through that entire week, and you can watch each one of those videos, you will be invited to my free training, okay? You do not have a guaranteed slot just by signing up and registering. You need to open those emails each day and you need to watch each lesson of that course. Then at the end of it, you're going to get access to a free class. You can tell me, you can send me a response in the emails what you want me to go through in that free class, okay? I'm going to share with you the exact automated system that I use in my businesses, what these people are using like Gymshark. I've worked with multiple businesses, I've run my own businesses, the systemized stuff that you need to have set up to be able to build a long-term business, right? And also, as a bonus, how you can double your conversion rate on your website. So if you want to get access to that, like I say, the link is down below. But if you don't go ahead and get that, if you don't go ahead and join the register for the free class and get the free course, just take one thing away from this video. You need to start shifting your mindset from shortcuts and making money in the short term to actually building a long-term business. Focus on your customer. If you wouldn't buy from your store, right? If you wouldn't be happy from the service, that is why your business is failing. So imagine you're the customer. Imagine when you're coming through and you're buying the product, you're looking at the website from fresh eyes, from new perspective, from somebody who's never seen it before. If there's not enough stuff there to prove to you that this is going to be A, a reliable business, and B, you're going to get your products on time and you're going to get a nice, happy service from them, then nobody's going to buy from you. So you just got to focus on fixing those problems. Okay, you've got to build out a proper support system. And that way, once it's built, you don't have to do it again. You can duplicate it onto your next store. You can iterate it incredibly easy, but you just got to spend a couple of days doing this. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Bye.